Is Hatchet for the Honeymoon a disjointed mess that needs to stay in the box? Stay tuned to find out. Hello, and welcome to Box or Tape, where I decide which is better, the box or the tape. This episode, we're going to be looking at Mario Bava's Hatchet for the Honeymoon. This tape is brought to us by Media Home Entertainment. One of my personal favorite VHS releasing companies, it was started by Charles Band in 1978. It would later be a main staple in genre filmmaking on home video.
I have no objections.
Some of the releases I would like to highlight are the Nightmare on Elm Street films and Sleepaway Camp.
Perfect.
Let's take a look. Let's see. Wow, that's a really pretty cover. Striking image. Nice spine. Spine for the win this time. Double-sided. Really cool. And look at that bottom flap. The one thing about media that I love was their consistent bottom flaps. Even though it's kind of hard to get out sometimes. Nice sticker. Nice looking tape. Perfection. And let's see what we're getting into. 7 lovely brides savagely hacked to death, and John Harrison killed them all. But you must understand, he had to kill them, just as he must keep on killing, until the flashing fragments of the maddening puzzle in his head fall into place, until he finally knows who slaughtered his mother, his beautiful, beloved mother. He can still remember that fateful night as she dressed for her second wedding. He can still see so clearly the glistening, blood-splattered hatchet cleaving the white lace bridal gown. But he can't see the killer's face, only a dark, sickening blur. Now he will know, for each time he butchers a bride, he sees that haunting face more clearly. And he must know, all he needs is one more victim, just one more. Directed by the legendary Mario Bava, he would later go on to create the giallo genre as we know it with Blood and Black Lace, and one of my personal favorite movies of his is A Bay of Blood. Laura Betty's character was given a more sizable film role, and she was also in the before-mentioned A Bay of Blood. Dagmar Lysandra would later go on to be in 2 Fulci movies, The Black Cat and House by the Cemetery. Actor Jose Puente was Inspector Russell in the film. He was also in Tarzan in the Golden Grotto with Stephen Hawks. Stephen Hawks you may remember from our review of Blood Freak. Fumé Buissé, who played Alice, she was also in another episode of ours called The Slasher.
The policeman who tracks down the slasher.
Luciano Bergazzi was a staple in Italian cinema. Some other notable roles of his were Zombie 3, Strike Commando, and Robo-War. Actor Daryl Tucci played Dr. Calloway in the film, but what I know him from is the greatest movie of all time, Pieces, as Dr. Jennings.
And you don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre. Pieces.
Lauren Beatty and Lysander did not get along well during the filming of this movie, even going as far as Beatty being jealous of Lysander and treating her very derogatorily.
I'm not going anywhere.
So, with all that being said, how's the movie? Well, I believe it's a very underrated work of Bava, and I'll tell you why.
A madman can also have good reasons.
Okay, some don't want to call this a giallo because the main focus is the actual killer, and he's unmasked, and it's not a mystery. But what did Blood and Black Lace do? Though there was a mystery, there was really no main character you were following during it, except for the killer. You were through his perspective during it. Same thing with this movie. And I think it really breaks the rules early on in the genre and gives us something different that we haven't really seen since.
I wanted to surprise you, and apparently I did.
The cinematography in the movie is perfection. And I always called this like going uncomfortably close to the character. I always called it a Fulci zoom. But really, in my rewatching of a lot of Bava movies, Bava came up with it first. That very, like, zoomed in, tight, like, uncomfortable look of a character. That was more of a Bava feature than it was Fulci. And Fulci obviously got inspiration from Bava from that. So, instead of calling it a Fulci zoom, I should be calling it a Bava zoom.
What are you filling that cup for?
Okay, and the standout performance in this movie, and the person we follow, is Stephen Forsythe as John. He can go from incredibly fucking charming.
There's something different about you. I don't know exactly what it is. Perhaps your eyes.
To just fucking psycho. And as the movie progresses, his mental stability goes up here, to here, to here, to here. He just goes further and further down the rabbit hole. A standout kill for me has to be the death of John's wife. Just because he puts on the gown and everything, he starts killing her, and then the detectives come to the door. So he has to stop midway. And, like, her blood is dripping from the staircase. The only reason he got away with it was because he put the TV on playing Mario Bava's Black Sabbath. So, like, the screams were done by the movie, tricking the cops. But it's just such a tense scene that it cannot be forgotten.
Were these the screams you heard?
Very interesting. You like horror films, do you? I don't find them very entertaining. I keep thinking that reality is more terrifying than fiction. Wouldn't you agree?
So, overall, it's a great movie. I feel it is. And I feel it gets overlooked with a lot of his other work. So even if you've seen it, watch it again. Look at it with some new eyes. And maybe you'll find that hidden gem in Mario Bava's filmography.
Must have been marvelous.
So, which is better, the box or the tape? Well, this time around, we're going with the tape.
Don't insist.
John,
So, I'm not saying that this is not great. Look at this. That's a great looking cover. But doesn't that remind you more of a slasher movie than it does like a introspective giallo? So when I first saw this, or bought this like 15 years ago, I thought I was getting more of like a Bay of Blood. Or something like, something more slashy. Which I didn't end up getting that. I got an introspective giallo film. Which is fine. But I think if you were to post the original international poster onto a tape, I think it would have sold better. Or at least sell you what the movie actually is. So though it's not a bad cover at all, I will say the tape wins in this instance.
stop that.
Okay guys, that's it for this episode. Tune in next time where we look at another Italian legend. Someone a little bit more notorious. Who you may ask? You're going to have to wait and see. Tune in next time.